Hi there, viewers and gamers alike out there, and welcome back for another Retro Classic Gaming, and also celebrating Autism Awareness Month for the entire month of April. So, oh my gosh, I did why not I do this as another retro gaming classic of Legend of Zelda again? So, A Link to the Past. I mean, I've not died once, so woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! This is awesome! Oh, yeah, I mean, so this, because this is Autism Awareness Month for the entire month of April, because we're in the colors red, yellow, and blue, it's... Ah! Oh my! That's better! Yeah, I'm playing on the... I think I might have remembered that I was playing on the Nintendo Switch, but not on the Super NES because I feel like I am the stupid idiot. And for that, I am feeling like one so much! Should have known. So, alright, I'll do it on the Nintendo Switch again, but why... why not do it on the Super NES, Super Nintendo that's not Nintendo Switch? Bye, Uncle! I can't stay! So, on the Game Boy Advance, on the Game Boy Advance, your magic meter automatically refills, if you want to know. I mean, I would love to do this game on the Game Boy Advance, because, if you're saying I have the technology to do that, to play on the Game Boy Advance, you are sadly mistaken, because it's, not happening. So, of course, there might be a way for me to record. I mean, either with my cell phone or in my tablet. But, I wish they could have, like, the Palace of the Four Sword game and then play it like, multiplayer, and, like, you play it on the Google and Apple store, like, yeah, that'll work, and then you have the Four Sword game. I mean, if you beat the final boss on the Four Sword game, which is, the game, like, who goes by the name of Vati, you will unlock a special dungeon called the Palace of the Four Sword, and if you want to know it's from A Link to the Past, which is connected, so you're asking yourself, why is it called the Palace of the Four Sword in the first place? Simple. The thing is, why is it connected to that name? Is because, well, it's obviously simple if you want to know. The reason why it's called with that name of the same the reason why it's called by that with the same name, the Palace of the Four Sword, is because it's connected to the game you just beaten before. That's the Four Sword game, not Four Sword Adventures. Well, it is called Four Swords, but not Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube. What I'm talking about, the one on the Game Boy Advance. Once you beat the whole game, but it has to be multiplayer only. It can't be solo. It can't be single player. It has to be multiplayer, because you need to have more than one person to join you on this quest, of course. There will be items along the way in the dungeons you are in, because depends on because the areas on the dungeon goes in random no particular order. So in other words, whether it will be a shield or a bomb or a boomerang or the rocks, cape, you name it, whichever works best. Because that's how it is. Ta-da! Yeah, retro classic gaming celebrating. So once again, this is Autism Awareness Month, or the entire month of April, wearing the colors red, yellow, and blue. And I am one of those people who have autism, and this is how I need to represent. For those people who have autism like me, is to have an IQ, of course. It is a gift and a curse, and at the same time, I mean, there are some ups and downs, as in, like, there are some side effects for that matter. So in the game, okay, besides that, the Game Boy Advance version, when you play as Link in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, you your magic meter automatically refills, whether it's the fire rod, the ice rod, or the lamp, or the medallions, if you want to know. And yes, and that's why. And also, once you have a number of how do I say this? Once you have a number of medals, you can do the hurricane spin. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. So you need 10 medals to get this. And once you have a total of 10 medals, you can absolutely do the hurricane spin completely. Like, of course, it'll cost magic, but your magic meter will be costly, of course. Unless you have your magic meter be reduced by half, it'll be that much easier to use the specialized hurricane spin. In other words, you keep on spinning without stopping by pressing that, by holding it down longer, like doing like a hurricane attack, like this. Of course, once it's held longer than normal, you'll be able to spin around like crazy, like spinny, spin, spin, spinny, spin, spin, all that all the time. In other words, you'll do that non-stop until your magic meter runs out and you can't do that magical hurricane spin again. So in order to go to the Palace of the Four Sword, you have to defeat the final boss named Vati, along with this game as well, of the same name, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda: Four Swords. Once you've beaten both games, you'll be able to enter the Palace of the Four Sword yourself. However, it'll cost 20 rupees to get in. Because once you're in, there will be the very first 4 hardest bosses in the Dark World. In other words, the same 4 bosses that you fought from the very first 4 are that much harder to beat, and I am not joking. It is absolutely hard, and it's not that easy. Of course, you need to require a level 4 Master Sword, as in your Master Sword can go up to level 4 for that matter. Plus, you'll need to wear the red mail. Of course, you'll take a lot of damage than normal. In other words, it will hurt a lot. It will hurt a lot. And when I mean it will hurt a lot, it will hurt a lot. Ow! So once you beat a boss in the Palace of the Four Sword, you need to collect that sword from, you know, from where the pedestal is. You grab one sword and you move on. You do the same thing for the next one. The same 4 bosses of the first 4 bosses in the Dark World. It's not that complicated to understand. But believe me, it is absolutely harder. They're twice as harder than your regular bosses on the Dark World. And it is painfully striking. Of course, usually this game was made, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past and 4 Swords was not just created by Nintendo, but also the second party, which is made by Capcom. So yeah, Capcom was in it. Like, how is Capcom a part of the Nintendo landscape? And when do they made a Legend of Zelda game that's made by Capcom? Simple. For those who play Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, you get the idea from what it is, because that absolutely exists. So yeah, Capcom has made the kind of deal to as in, well, yeah, they made a really good deal when Capcom made a Legend of Zelda game for the first time besides Nintendo. They made Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and now Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, along with the 4 Sword game, which is multiplayer only. And once you collect all the 4 swords, once you have all the 4 swords in your possession, you go straight to the middle of the area, from the middle of the room, there is a area that, how do I say this? That once you have all the 4 swords, you need to slash it with this magical, where that magical barrier is at. The only way, and that is the only way you're gonna get through. And the last and final boss of the 4 under the Palace of the 4 Sword, from where the pyramid is at in the Dark World, the final boss is none other than yourself. I'm not joking. It's yourself. It's you the whole time. In other words, you have to fight your own selves. Green, red, blue, and yellow. Green, red, blue, and purple. So the green is easiest, the purple one's the hardest. So yeah, in other words, they will not hesitate to kill you off, because you are the main character. If you lose, I guess your other self, it will be taken over. So yeah, don't let this happen, or else. And a heart container. Woohoo! I love this retro gaming classic. I mean, bringing it back as a retro classic, and because of this, my first my first Let's Play on Nintendo is Super Mario World, and I wanted to do that game so much, and it is absolutely incredible. Hands down. So, the top number one, I would say, is playing a Super Mario Brothers game on the Nintendo or the Famicom, which would be the Japanese version. Beat you around the bush! Whoa! The Master Sword! Or should I say, the fake Master Sword? I know every heart piece of this entire game, and I don't know this by my brain. I know this by heart, to be honest. It's too darn easy for me to remember. I remember this by heart. And I can actually do this in my sleep. Well, it's just an expression, of course. Why they say, I can do this in my sleep, or I can do this with my eyes closed, which is just an expression, of course. Yeah, this is it, the Master Sword. No, this can't be. Too bad. Yay! Yeah, the electrified Kooky Men! You lose! This is a the classic hack and slash type of game. Of course, on the Nintendo, which is the Famicom, it is a hard hack and slash type of game for Nintendo and Famicom versions. Japanese people really do have a great educational system when it comes to making game consoles such as this. And look where that's gotten. This is a once in a lifetime to do. I mean, scissors by the water. It's a crab. Of course, if you want to get the hurricane spin, you have to solve riddles. And once you solve the riddles, they tell this guy from the Bumpkin House up in the north, on the northwest of the woods, from the Lost Woods, from where it's at. Woohoo! And just go back and you'll get your and once you get past well, then there's the magic powder. So once you beat all four of yourselves, okay, so the first kind of does the dash attack, and the other kind of does the red one, the green one from when you on the Palace of the Four Sword when you face off against yourself, is the green one does the dash attack, and yes, it will attack you with an evil master sword. Yes, an evil master sword, because the same way you carry with that master sword is the same way that your other self will carry of that said master sword in that type of version. So yeah, an evil master sword. Like, what? There's no such thing as an evil master sword. How is this possible? Are you making this up? No, I'm not. Because I played this game before. I played I played Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, because once you go into the pyramid and the Palace of the Fourth Sword, you have to face off your own self 4 times. The green one, the red one, the blue one, and the purple one. So the green one does a dash attack because of the Pegasus boots. The red one does have the hurricane spin, but with the Pegasus boots. So yeah, and the blue one will have the Rock's Feather with the hurricane spin with the Pegasus boots. But if you try to use the hurricane spin on the blue one, it'll automatically disappear using the rock because it has the Rock's cape. So yeah, the blue one jumps up in the air and does like a down stab. In other words, if you get hit by that down stab, you'll take a lot of damage. In other words, you lose either somewhere between 4 to 5 hearts. So I suggest you be careful, or else get whooped by that blue version of your other self, because it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, so be aware. Uses the Rock's cape, jumps in the air and does a down stab, and all of a sudden will disappear if you try to do that hurricane spin. So I suggest do not use the hurricane spin, because if you do that, it will your other self, which is the blue version, will know you are doing that hurricane spin. In other words, he knows you by heart. The purple one is the hardest out of all the 4. So as the Pegasus boots, it has the Pegasus boots, the Rock's cape with the Rock's Feather can disappear, does have the hurricane spin, so yes, and does have a powerful energy beam off the tip when fired with the swing of its sword. So yes, has way more health than the rest of your other versions combined. In other words, you're gonna be in for a long battle. So do not underestimate from what is happening around you from when you're facing off the 4 versions of yourselves. Because it ain't pretty. It is absolutely vicious when it comes to that. Ta-da! So on the Game Boy Advance, on the original version on the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom, and the game, you get the arrows, but on the Game Boy Advance with the name of the same name of the game with The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, instead of arrows, you're gonna get rupees, because if you don't have the bow and arrows, to be honest, you're just gonna get rupees instead of the arrows. So in other words, it'll be rupees instead of the arrows. So that what is said before, and that is how it goes. Ow! 4 bombs. Definitely it is worth it to... and also there is a magic jar right behind here. Once you've beaten all 4 versions of yourselves, you'll finally be able to collect the 4 swords. And then, who knows, you want to take down Ganondorf or make the Dark World as your own or whatsoever. Like, okay, how's that gonna work? Simple. Just do what you do best. Whatever you intend to try to take back the golden power ever since, as to gain the Triforce back out of Ganondorf's hands. And there we have it. And it seems we are going to stop here for the time being, and we are going to continue to pick up from where we left off, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you guys think of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past bringing back as a retro classic game ever since the Nintendo Creators Program ended in 2018, and finally do videos in 2019 of Nintendo. As your friendly neighborhood superhero who likes to take chances, making mistakes, and getting messy, who likes peanut butter and chocolate and or breakfast for dinner, and celebrating our 5-year anniversary of this entire channel of Leo's Let's Plays Alliance, and also celebrating Autism Awareness Month for the entire month of April, wearing the colors red, yellow, and blue. Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Just remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice. And I'll see you guys next time on episode 2, because friendship is magic for everyone.